Hi, thank you for tuning in. This is going to be a quick video for anyone who can conceive. We're in the Tripartite Tractate, okay? So if you own this, if you own this book, you can follow along. I'm on page 72, and ineffably, this text is really talking about the kingdom of God. But what happens below also happens above. So, as we're reading about the kingdom of God, we're still also reading about our time as well. So here I am. These texts are multifaceted. So on page 72, the nature of the emission, I think we're seeing that now. We're seeing our spiritual children come into being, even if they come from the far future and all that kind of stuff. So this stuff is unfolding now. Okay, so the next section here, the free will, is, I believe, the next age we are entering into. We're going to be entering into an age of truth, where truth will be established, and that will usher in the second coming of Christ. So we're going to be entering in an age of peace and truth, where truth will be established. So when we read this stuff, we're talking about, in order that this may happen, the one who has desire to give glory does not say anything to him about it, except this only. For a boundary to speech is placed in the fullness, making them keep silent about the Father's unreachability. So, we're coming into an age where, Islam, Judaism, Christianity are becoming one. All this stuff is becoming true. But this is to lead us into the kingdom of God. Now, the Nag Hammadi scriptures in general, the Gnosis, is really teaching us about things that we find very hard to explain. These are things that we really put in our hearts. We could teach them, yes, but it's something you just know in your heart. That's really the principle. And that's what this paragraph here is talking about. So in this age of established truth that we're entering into, it's those who will ascend, those who are exceeding, it should be pointing the way to the Gnosis. That's what the Quran really does. So those who want to receive the Gnosis, they're the ones that will excel. So this is interesting. The presumption of the youngest aeon. So I think we're talking about the second coming of Christ on through here. And it's amazing because it talks about, you'll have to excuse me. On these pages, it talks about how all this truth will be established, but it'll bring forth someone, and I believe that's the multitude of the second coming of Christ, who will be in an individual thought. So the next age, after the one that we're entering into, the second coming of Christ, that age will be one of creativity and original thought. We're no longer going to be the things of old. This is what the things of old really mean. We're going to be past that, and now it's going to be our original thought, which is going to bring original doctrine. It's quite amazing to think about it. But then we continue, if you can even conceive of what I'm talking about. So that's going to be a very glorious time, because we read how this word economy is really used as a corporation, an organization, and the texts like Walt Whitman's writings are very clear. The second coming of Christ, he's going to own the entire doctrine, the entire, it's going to be his world. So so that's what this is talking about. But then it talks about how there's a problem in there, so that as we reach to the kingdom of God in our own original thought, through that creativity, we're going to try to express things that we really can't express, nor can we even conceive, the things that are even higher. Okay, so that is going to bring about division and uncertainty in the second coming of Christ. So, in other words, but the text goes on how it's not a bad thing. It's not Christ's fault for wanting to express the unexpressible of the Father. That's our, it's our creative nature to unexpress the unexpressible. To express the unexpressible. So that's going to cause like division and apostasy, but it's not his fault. So and that's going to cause the division of the second coming of Christ. Now you can cross-reference the book of Gad the Seer. That PDF should be pretty easy to find on Google, from apostate Ken Johnson, and we read about the messianic prophecies that this stuff happened to Messiah. The apostasy, the winter season happened to Messiah because he mixed good with the bad. And with the second coming of Christ, with that creative original thought of, that age of original thought, that fall, that winter season will come from wanting to express the inexpressible, and it will cause division and all that kind of stuff. So, but it's not a bad thing. It's not his fault, because that's what we're supposed to do, because it's really out of the love of the Father, the love of the truth, that we do that. So it's really interesting how the text goes into that. That's what I see prophetically happening. So I just want to share that. If anyone's interested, thank you for tuning in. Allah bless you.